Hi, guys. I'm Marie,
And I'm Maddie.
and we are here today bringing you an update on the High Bridge Delphi murders. So, I am sure the entire internet world has now heard that there has been an update in this case. But just in case you haven't, or you wanted to get all the details on it, we thought we would pop on really quick and give you guys an update now that we know probably as much information as we're going to know for a while. Okay, if you are not familiar with the Delphi case, we are not going to go into that much detail about it, but we did cover it back in, I think it was maybe episode 27 ish. It's kind of one of our older ones, so I can't guarantee the mic quality on it, but we will link it in this episode if you guys want to go and listen to the full episode. And then you can laugh at us at the end when we're doing theories about who we think is responsible because apparently we were all fucking wrong. So, on October 28, a man named Richard Matthew Allen was booked into Carroll County Jail in connection with the Delphi murders. He was being held on $20 million bond. But he was quickly moved to a state facility for his own safety, and this would be in another county. Probably because of the high profile of this case, would be my guess. Now, Allen has never been named as a suspect in the Delphi murders. Not by police, not by the media, and not by any web sleuths that I could find anywhere online. He does not exist as a suspect. So I did find that sources close to the investigation say that Allen did come forward as a witness early on in the investigation. So after the murders, he did come forward as a witness.
You have to insert yourself in the investigation.
Apparently. Now, this may have been to put himself in the area in case somebody had seen him there. He is questioned by police and he is cleared. Now, I did read that there appeared to be a disagreement between agencies as to whether or not he deserved a harder look at the time, but he was still cleared. So, whichever agency, I don't know if this was FBI, I don't know if this was the Delphi police, I don't know who thought he needed a harder look and who thought that he should be cleared, but he was cleared. And that could be because he has no criminal record. That could be because somebody in the police department knew him and didn't think him a suspect. We don't know at this point. Because you guys, everything is currently sealed in this case, which is a little unusual at this stage, actually. So we do know that Allen is 50 years old, which would have put him in his mid 40s at the time of the murders. He's also been known to go by Ricky. He is married with children.
They always are.
He was born on September 9 of 1972, and he worked at the Delphi CVS drugstore. He was described as quiet and polite.
Trust no one. Ever.
Now, some reporters did go into the CVS pharmacy in the last few days, and there is a sketch of the suspect hanging on the outside of the store, and there's another one hanging inside the store right next to the pharmacy. So that means that Richard Allen would more than likely see these sketches every time he went into work. For what, the last 5-6 years? How long has it been? The murders occurred on February 13 of 2017.
Okay.
So February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 8 months, 5 years and 8 months. Something like that. So almost 6 years.
Goddamn.
After the press conference, which, by the way, basically told us nothing. They basically confirmed that Richard Allen had been charged officially with the murders of Abby and Libby.
Okay.
But they did not give any evidence. They did not give anything further. That's it. That's all we get. Everything else has been sealed. Why? I don't know. So we don't know if it was DNA. We don't know if we have no idea what evidence they have on him.
Yeah, just that.
Just that he's been arrested and charged with their murders. Now, oh gosh, after the press conference, Libby's family did confirm that they had developed pictures at the CVS pharmacy and that Allen had not charged them for those photos. And this was after the murders. It almost sounded like they were like maybe the memorial photos.
Stop.
But yeah.
What is the what horrible ways for him to continue to live out what he did? Like to relive
Right.
his experiences.
100%. Well, and listen to this. There is also pictures of Alan's daughter on the bridge posted on Facebook. And she's just a couple years older than Abby and Libby. So he also has photos of his daughter on that bridge. Ugh. Another photo that was on Facebook was a picture that his wife took, and it's a selfie, and they're in, it looks like a bar, and in the background of the picture is the sketch of the suspect on the wall in the photo. I don't like that at all.
He was just constantly surrounded by what he did.
Which was probably either terrifying or a thrill.
No, it was a thrill for him.
I think so too.
I mean, I feel like maybe not, but.
And to be fair, the sketch is probably everywhere in Delphi, if we're being honest. It's probably hard to take a picture in Delphi without having the sketch in it, but still so disturbing. Now, we also learned that he has a weapons permit. And remember, they theorized that a gun may have been used to intimidate the girls and make them comply. So it sounds to me like he might have a hunting permit as well. So it could be a gun that he can't even have in his pocket. That is just a theory at this point. Now, the bridge is 1.8 miles from his house. And according to Google, he has lived in that house at least since 2006. So he was in that house at the time of the murders. He also lived about 2 miles from Abby's home. And the route from his home to the bridge would take him past the middle school where Abby and Libby attended school. Fuck.
Oh my God. The world's so fucked up.
Now, on October 13, they searched Alan's home, and they searched for about 12 hours. He would not be arrested, though, until 10/26 and arraigned on the 28th, which is the day that we learned about his arrest, was on the 28th. That's probably when it had to be made public because he was actually arraigned. Neighbors say that they saw a Macy's bag, a shoebox, a stack of thin books, and something covered with a cloth being removed from the house.
Treasures? Trophies?
Souvenirs? Yeah. Well, because remember, we know the items were taken from the crime scene. We know
but
that.
we didn't know what.
We don't
right?
know what. Yeah. And the neighbor who saw this was actually in his window with binoculars, like basically the whole day, watching to see what happened, which I would be too. Even if I didn't know it was connected to the Delphi murders, just having your neighbor's house be searched.
For 12 hours.
They also dug multiple holes in the backyard. One of them looked like it might have been an old fire pit.
I'm telling you, we gotta excavate our yard.
I know. Well, there was also rumors at one point that the DNA that they had was from an animal, like pet DNA. And one of the theories I saw out there was, could they have dug up an old family pet from the yard? to try and match that DNA.
Oh my
Again,
God.
just a theory because we don't know what the evidence is. We're going to have to like totally re-record this when we actually find out the truth and add it to the original episode because we could be completely wrong on so much of this. He was charged with 2 counts of murder and he pleaded not guilty. And we know that most criminals are going to plead not guilty. Most lawyers are going to insist that their clients plead not guilty, regardless of the evidence. So who knows if that will stick or not. But his court date has been set for March 20 of 2023 at 9 a.m., which to me seems really quick.
Yeah.
A couple things that I thought was weird. One, they say that he was possibly going by the alias of Craig Ross Renfro, who is a real person who might have had their identity stolen by Allen. It's not clear at this point. But that did appear to be a person in Indiana.
Wait.
So
What?
at some point, he may have been using a profile or something that indicated that was his name, even though it's not. But they have reason to believe he was using that alias at some point.
Okay.
Another thing that I thought might be worth mentioning is in Indiana, murder is murder. There's not first-degree murder. There's not second-degree murder. If you're an accessory, it's still murder. So it is possible that he is not suspected of being the person that murdered them. He could be an accessory and the charge would still be murder. So we don't know exactly what his involvement is. I tend to think it's more he's definitely the murderer at this point. But he wouldn't have to be the only person involved for them to charge him with that.
Okay.
Okay. They also called for tips from anyone who interacted with the Anthony Schatz profile. Do you remember the Anthony Schatz profile when we did the original case?
No.
Okay, so super quick synopsis of that. So Keegan Kline, who is currently in prison for child pornography, and he is the person suspect that was communicating with Libby on social media the day that they went missing.
Okay.
So he was using a username, Anthony Schatz. It's Anthony_Schatz. And he was using pictures of a young male model posing as that kid. Now, in his communication with Libby, he made plans to meet up with her the day that the girls were murdered. He did claim that he was not the only person who had access to this Anthony Schatz profile.
Wait, so the guy admitted to being that profile?
He admitted to creating the profile, but he said that he did not have any recollection of interacting with Libby that day. But that profile did interact with Libby that day and suggested they meet at the bridge.
So he used the app to lure or the profile to lure them in.
Him or somebody else did, yes.
Wait, I'm confused.
Okay, so
Wait.
I know this part is kind of confusing. So he is using the profile for Anthony Schatz with the fake picture.
Who?
Keegan Kline.
Who the fuck is Keegan Kline?
Okay, Keegan Kline has been arrested and is in jail currently for child pornography and is being held not related to the Delphi murders. He's being held in prison under the child pornography charges. Okay? We find out that the day that the girls go missing, this Anthony Schatz profile interacts with Libby and makes plans to meet up with her that day.
At the bridge.
Yes. Now, Keegan Kline says he has no recollection of interacting with Libby that day. But he also claims that he's not the only one that has access to the profile.
Okay. So it was the guy that's arrested now.
We don't know. But that's a theory. Again,
I would say
it's all a theory.
I would say that's a pretty solid theory.
Well, and could there have been some sort of child pornography ring that they were both involved in? They both had access to this profile. We don't really know, right? We have no idea if they're even connected. But police did ask for tips from anyone that interacted with this profile.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that they think maybe there could be other victims out there, or there could be other evidence out there that they don't currently have, right? Also, Keegan Klein, Google searched, how long does DNA last just days after the girls were murdered?
Suspicious.
So suspicious. He also failed a polygraph. Another thing that we know about Keegan Klein is he lies a lot. So we don't even know if he's telling the truth in anything that he says. We don't even know if he actually actually made this account. We don't know if anything he says is true, nor do we know that he can be trusted. But neither here nor there. He also claims that during the time of the murders, he was sitting in his red Jeep. We don't know if that's true either. But now, a couple of weeks after Klein starts talking to police, they arrest Allen. Because Klein is coming up on his charges for the child pornography. Okay.
Okay.
So it could be a coincidence that police are talking to him, and now all of a sudden Allen is being arrested. Or it could be related. Now, Annie, just to throw another confusing little wrench in here, Annie is another young girl, the same age as Libby and Abby, who was also interacting with the Anthony Schatz profile. And after the murders, she asked Anthony, this profile,
Yes.
if he had heard about Libby, because she knew that they were interacting as well together, right? To which the Anthony profile acted very concerned. And Annie asked, wasn't he supposed to meet up with her? And he said, yeah, but that she didn't show. So Annie, this friend, knew that Libby had plans to meet up with the Anthony Schatz guy. Profile, right. She ends up inviting Anthony over to her house as her parents were not going to be home. And this would be on the 20th. So about a week after the murders.
Okay.
On the day, the 20th, she gets off the bus and sees a man looking through her window of her house wearing a baklava.
Yeah.
And that's when alarm bells kind of went off for her, and she actually calls police. Klein's house gets searched, and he is arrested.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So it sounds like he was arrested pretty early on and has basically just been giving tips to police. Like, I believe they searched certain areas of the river based on information that he gave. Either way, he's been in jail all this time and now is coming up on like sentencing maybe, or something's about to happen in his case. And police start talking to him again.
Okay.
Okay. Does that kind of make sense? That's the way that I kind of understood it. And I could be off on some of it. There's so much speculation out there right now. Another interesting thing is Libby does factory reset her phone a week before her murder. Which, by the way, Keegan Klein factory reset all 7 of the devices that police confiscated from him after his arrest. So did Libby factory reset her phone on her own, or did somebody tell her to do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? 13-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl. She's the 13, I think, right?
But back in 2017.
Back in 2017. Should we ask Cordy if she's ever factory reset her phone? I have a 13-year-old, you guys. I don't think she would factory reset her phone unless somebody specifically told her to do it. I don't think any teenager would, because doesn't it get rid of like all the stuff on your phone?
Yeah, it does. It puts it back to like when you first bought it.
Interesting.
I've accidentally almost done that before.
Now, they did say that they are keeping the tip lines open and asking anyone with information to call, which makes me think they think there's still more out there. Either more victims, more evidence, more something.
Yeah, it's weird.
But that is what we know about the Delphi case right now. Pretty crazy. And they did say during the press conference, you guys, that today is not that day. Like, today is not the day where you're going to know what happened, where we're going to stand up and say, we got this guy. They said today is not that day. Which to me makes me think that either they're not sure or they're not going to celebrate until they know for sure that he will be put away for this
Yeah,
crime.
or they think that there's someone else involved.
Yeah, maybe. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you've heard more than what we know. We're trying not to speculate too much because we just don't know so much information yet. And we probably won't until the conclusion of the trial, because I would be shocked if they allowed press or recording of this trial to be live or public or anything. They've been able to seal everything else in this case, but it involves minors. Like, I would imagine, based on what we've already seen happen with this case, that we're not going to know until it's over.
Yeah, probably.
We're not going to know what the evidence is. We're not going to know any of that, would be my guess.
I mean, we didn't know for so long we just still don't know what they took from. Or, you know, they said that the crime scene looked like it had been, like, staged, and then wasn't it like that it had been tampered with, that it looks like that there were things missing?
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
They believed, so they said that there were multiple signatures at the crime scene. So the killer had done something specific.
Yeah. And that there were missing items.
Yep, but something is missing from both of them. And also, I read somewhere that somebody described it like they were arranged like dolls. And I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds like they were arranged in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. There's so much we don't know about this case because police have been very, very tight-lipped about it. And this fucking Richard Allen guy is just walking around doing his job, living his life for the last almost 6 years.
Kids, family, trust nobody.
Can you even imagine being his family right now? Holy fuck.
No, dude, no.
You need to move out of the country and change your names right now, because I can tell you right now, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near this if I was his family. If I was his wife, her face has been plastered all over social media.
Oh, God.
Like, I'm sure her Facebook is closed down now, but initially it wasn't. Initially, people were able to go on her Facebook and screenshot all over the place. And some of them did cover her face, and some of them didn't when posting photos. So let us know what you guys think, or if you have any theories about this case. And yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's been a crazy weekend with lots of information. It was really hard to sort through all of the information and try to get as much information as I could that was actually accurate. So hopefully we didn't get anything wrong. If we did, we apologize. Don't come for us.
We'll probably make another update as stuff comes out, because I'm sure something will.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in for this quick update, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.